Black Ether is the new book by David Chaim Smith, the spiritual cartographer who is revolutionizing the field of contemplative mysticism. And this is the 6th book in the series, The Lightning Flash of Aleph, although each book, of course, is self-contained and stands on its own. And in fact, David writes about this in the first few pages here. He actually says that while the books in this series are all useful, they're non-sequential. You don't have to read them in the order in which they were published. Each volume functions as a unique and viable window into the path, and each is sufficient as a starting point for the study of the work. Now, I must say that when I received this book about a week ago, I wrote to David to say to him, listen, I'll be reviewing this in about a week. And he laughed. He said, good luck reading this in the space of a single week. And I have to admit that he was absolutely right. I have not finished reading this. And to be honest with you, if I waited to have finished reading the entire book before presenting it to you, you'd be waiting for a very long time. This goes deep. It goes very, very deep. Now, do we get lots of David's beautiful cartography, his fantastic diagrams that bring to light his thoughts, his conclusions from his contemplations. Yes, we get lots and lots of those wonderful maps. In fact, there is an entire section in the middle, which is I can't remember what he calls it. It's a book without words, and it's, here we go, a mutus liber of just these maps for your own contemplation as you reach the center of the book, right? Now, but the majority of the book is a description of his non-emanationist take on Kabbalah. And it's fascinating. It's so fascinating, and it's very clearly written. And it's written in a way that doesn't leave anyone behind, but you have to take your time over it. Every time there's a new word that comes up, he explains what that new word means. But then he does assume that you remember what that word means. And the concept of it all is that the mind originally is Ein Sof, the all, and we have this. We make this mistake of considering the world from a dualistic perspective, that this and that are separate. Right? And in the same sense that we and the rest are separate. And so what he gives is this metaphor of an ocean with foam on the surface, and we get to experience the foam. And each concept, whether it's an intellectual concept or in fact a thing, an actual thing that we could feel or think that we can touch in and see and experience with our 5 senses in the world, all of that, they are all just bubbles of the one thing, bubbles of the ocean, right? So the ocean divided from itself, but that is still nevertheless the ocean. And so he has this idea of the black ether, which to say that I fully understand would be a lie. The best, my recommendation is for anyone interested to pick up the book and to find out for yourselves, right? Nevertheless, from what I can understand, in his model, we have these bubbles, and the bubbles have a shell, right? In fact, they are divided from the other bubbles by this shell, and this shell is what we can see of the bubble, and it from the inside it is how the bubble experiences itself, right? So there is this point between the the outside looking part of the shell's of the shell's skin, of the bubble's skin, right? The outside looking and the inside looking, those two meet at some point, right? And that place where they meet is not something that can be localized. However, it has substance somehow, which is this black ether, which in turn can be used by the contemplative mystic to dissolve the illusion of dualism, I guess, and used to apprehend reality as it really is, which is Ein Sof. Okay, so who is this book for? It's going to be for anyone who's read any of the other books by David Chaim Smith and who have really clicked with his thoughts and his thought process and his approach to Kabbalah and contemplative mysticism. No question, you're going to love this. You're going to lap this up. Who else is it for? It's going to be for anyone who maybe has read The Cloud of Unknowing or any of the other classics of contemplative mysticism and who have thought to themselves, hey, I want more of that from the present century. Maybe there's been some progress made, maybe there's some advances, maybe there's some new methods, techniques, ways of thinking about it all. Since the 12th century or whenever it was, what are current mystics, current contemplative mystics actually thinking about all of this? Well, this is going to be of significant interest to you. Is it going to be of interest to the book collector? I mean, there's no question about it. Of course, it's going to be interesting for the book collector. It's a beautiful, absolutely beautiful book. David actually told me that he was concerned that I might not be impressed by the new paper that he's used. He said that in previous volumes, he had used a type of paper which had caused him to have to get proof copy after proof copy to make sure that his pictures actually looked the way they should look. And with this new kind of paper, the first proof copy was perfect. It's ideal for presenting his art. And you know, when I received it, I thought to myself, oh, is it really so bad? But it's gorgeous, lovely, this kind of pearly texture to the paper, really nice, thick, very thick paper. It's lovely. It's not too glossy, it's not too matte. It's actually ideal for presenting a high quality of art reproduction. Right, don't let David catch me calling this art. Quite seriously though, it makes these maps, these diagrams are, I'm guessing that he drew them much larger than what they're represented here, and you know, some of it actually gets quite small, and if you're losing any quality, then it makes reading very difficult. And here the reading is, I mean, As I say, it is small. I have used a magnifying glass, but it is absolutely crystal clear. There's no wondering, you know, what this letter is or what that letter is. It's very, very well printed, very beautifully printed, and the medium is ideal. Nevertheless, is this for the book collector? Well, the book collector is going to be interested, there's no question about it. But I do know that David Chaim Smith is mostly interested in people engaging with his thoughts, engaging with his materials. I believe that he might be a little frustrated with people saying, "Oh my goodness, it's so gorgeous, so beautiful," and because it is. There's no question, it is so beautiful. But I know that probably a large proportion of people buying David's books are going to open up the book and then put it on a shelf and never see it again. This really does deserve close consideration, right? And this is really why I wanted to give you this review early, because I don't want to be rushed with this. I don't want to to think to myself, oh my goodness, it's been 3 weeks. Oh my goodness, it's been 4 weeks. People are going to be wondering where the review is, and so on and so forth. So here is my brief overview. It's not a review, it's an overview of what I've seen so far and what I've been able to make of the book so far. And I will let you come to your own conclusions when you see it for yourself, and engage with the material as is required for this material. It's fantastic job. Just one last point is that at the very beginning of the book and at the very end of the book, right here and right here, we've got they're both the same. It's the black ether. It's the long scroll. David Chaim Smith made a series, I think it was 12 or 13 different YouTube videos going into detail on every single part of this, well, what he called the long scroll. And that's definitely something to check out. It might give you a little idea of his thought process, a little idea of what he's trying to get at. If my review wasn't sufficient, which I certainly wouldn't blame you for. I also strongly recommend checking out his recent interview on the Glitch Bottle podcast, where he explains in his own words the core concepts that come out here in Black Ether. And once again, you know, if you'll be able to get an idea of what this is about and if it's really something for you. I think that's really the best that I can do for you. I hope you found the review, the overview, the first look, at least interesting and of some use to you. And I would thank you very much for watching, and please, if you did find the video of any use, please do leave a thumbs up and to subscribe down below if you haven't done so already. And yeah, thank you again for watching. See you very soon with another video. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.